Eat more fruits and vegetables. It's about the only thing every expert agrees on. You need to eat more fruits and vegetables for the health you want.
We eat plenty of protein, we eat plenty of carbohydrates and sugar, we have plenty of calories. What we're missing to be healthy, to be at our optimal best, is the nutrition of plants.
We know that we need to get probably at least 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day, and most of us can't or don't. And that's where Juice Plus comes in.
Juice Plus really helps bridge that gap between what we're supposed to be eating and what we do eat.
Juice Plus provides the nutrients from 30 different fruits and vegetables every day. And they're micronutrients. You don't need a whole lot of them, you just need a little bit every day.
Such a quick, easy, once a day, simple thing to do.
Juice Plus capsules and the Juice Plus ingredients are non-GMO. They are vegan.
Tested for herbicides, pesticides, yeast, mold, and fungus. It's gluten-free, dairy-free, even the capsule.
Juice Plus helps in making healthy living easier because of what I call the 3 E's. It's effective, and we know that it works because of the research. It's efficient. How quick, easy is it? I mean, if you have time to yawn, you can swallow the capsule. And it's economical.
When you tell somebody to change their diet, you might as well ask them to learn a new language, especially if they're an adult, because so much of our life is centered around food. But if you ask somebody to take some capsules, that's one simple change.
I like to look at Juice Plus as the one simple change to help get people started.
We're not asking them to go out and run a marathon. We're not asking them to join a gym. We're simply saying, with your nutrition, try making one simple change.
Habits are tough to change, but if you start slowly and just start one at a time, then you'll notice after that you want to do more of the healthy things and less of the bad things. What really got me involved with Juice Plus was the research.
20 plus years of real clinical research, not mice, not hamsters, not cells, people.
Over 40 publications in the medical literature.
Randomized controlled, double-blind, placebo-controlled trials done at major university hospitals by the researchers who were tops in that field.
People are always looking at labels. Labels provide very limited information. What matters is bioavailability. Are the nutrients actually getting into your blood?
20 of the clinical studies that have been done show bioavailability, which means that the nutrients are getting into the bloodstream.
Beyond that, we've shown functionality. It gets into the blood and it helps different tissues and cells and systems work better. That's as good as it gets.
Brain health, skin health, gum health, lung health, heart health, supports a healthy immune system. There is no other fruit and vegetable supplement on the planet that has the quantity and the quality of nutritional research that Juice Plus has.
Juice Plus is not a magic pill. Juice Plus is not the only thing that people can do. For the past 17 years, I have enjoyed the benefits of over 30 fruits and vegetables every day in my body.
In my 27 years, I've seen a lot of these copycat products come and go, and they come and go. Juice Plus stays because it's the standard.
All right. And just to add to that, well, the last month we talked about information, and the other month I talked about IRA. Everybody knows what an IRA is, IRA, Individual Retirement Account. There's also the IRA, IRAH, the Individual Retirement Account for Health. So we're putting money away for our retirement when we retire. But what are we doing about our health? Because we can put that money away and think that you're going to go, round this, vacationing everywhere. But then your health starts to decline because you haven't put that IRA aside. So I'm asking everyone on here, think about that. I want you to put your IRA, IRAH, get that in line. What that might look like. That might look like your physical needs, your spiritual needs, and your nutritional needs. Write that down, IRAH. individual retirement account for health. Because that money that you're saving, it's going to go toward doctor's visits, and that's not what we want. That's not what we want. Okay, so Henry GaFai Lee is our speaker for today. He is also just tough. I'm gonna read what he has here. I love Henry, y'all. I met Henry, this is not on this paper, but I met Henry a couple of years ago doing some other Zoom calls with him with the Tower Garden. And Henry is just a dynamite speaker. Young man on the move, helping people all around the world. So as a native to Columbus and a graduate of the Ohio State University, Henry has taught high school human anatomy and physiology and biology for 14 years in one of the top ranked schools in Ohio. He now partners with Juice Plus and Tower Gardens to educate people of all ages and stages of life, empowering them to make informed decisions about their food choices and equipping them with simple tools to take their health to the next level. After serving as an emotional intelligence coach with next level training around the world, he is now an internationally certified life coach, working with individuals and small groups to reignite their passion and purpose, get clear on what they really want in life, shift and expand their mindset to identify what's holding them back, and achieve their goals faster than they could by themselves. On his free time, he enjoys building community through sand volleyball, hosting game nights, reading with his baby nieces and nephews, backpacking and adventuring around the world, organizing meal prep and healthy eating parties, and empowering people to get on track to become everyday millionaires. And this is so true. You go on his page and you see him all over the world. He's calling from all over. So, Henry, you got this.
Lynette, thanks for having me. For those of you who are just jumping on here, thank you for joining us this evening on Easter weekend. We know that there's all sorts of other stuff that you could be doing with this time, and you have chosen to be here. So thank you for investing into your learning. And at any point during this, during the session, if you can think of one or two people that would benefit from hearing this information, then please get back to the person that shared this with you, either this recording or brought you here today, and we'd be happy to support them. Also, if you haven't already, in the chat, if you could write down, just type in really quick your name, where you're from, and who invited you. That'd be great. Again, that's your name, where you're from, and who invited you. That'd be cool, and we'll be able to follow up with you. So again, Lynette, thanks for that introduction. My name is Henry. And yes, I am an emotional intelligence life coach. I also partner primarily with the Juice Plus and Tower Garden company, as you said. Some of you also know that I work very closely with a couple different programs or medical offices. In particularly, you'll hear a little bit, and I have some slides for you too, with the Heart Attack and Stroke Prevention Center here in Columbus, Ohio, and also the Complete Health Dentistry. My background, like Lynette said, is I'm an educator. That's something that Lynette, you and I have in common. I love teaching. I taught anatomy and physiology here for about 14 years. And today I'm going to teach you a little bit about what I taught my students. And I will try to bring it down to the level where all of us can understand, and you don't have to have like a biochemistry degree or anything. So first, I want to ask you a question. This is a common question that I get when I'm having conversations with people that want to get healthy. Vitamins. Okay, this is the big debate. Are vitamins good for you, or why do you take them? So in the chat, I would like you to help me out here by engaging a little bit. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and in the chat, I'd like you to answer those. So And if you're watching the recording, I would encourage you also to do this activity just on your own. And because the more that you actually engage, the more that you are going to learn, the deeper understanding you're going to have yourself. And so the question I have for you is, why do people eat vitamins? Why do people eat vitamins? You might eat a vitamin pill yourself. You might know some other people, or you might have taken vitamins in the past, but why do people take vitamins? All right, so I'm looking at the chat here, and I'm going to read off some of these answers. I have a couple common answers that I've asked, that I've received from other people as well. All right, so I've got to boost immune systems. Good. What else do we got here? Again, the question is, why do people take vitamins? Why do people take vitamins? I'll give you a hint. It is not because they taste good. All right. I don't wake up in the morning and think, oh man, I got to eat my vitamins because I am so excited about how they taste. All right. I'm going to give you a few more seconds here. As you're doing that, I'm going to give you a little bit of history about vitamins. So vitamins and minerals, vitamins are named based off of, in the order that they were found, they were discovered, and different scientists, they have said, okay, this is a chemical that I found in food that is actually pretty healthy for you, and we're going to call it, I don't know, vitamin A. And that's literally how they came up with the word vitamin A. And then they found a couple other nutrients that were not the same as vitamin A, and they thought this is pretty healthy too. In fact, it helps with things like neurotube development, your nervous system. And so they decided, all right, what do we call this one? Oh, that's vitamin, let's call it vitamin B, right? And so they have listed about a dozen vitamins, okay? And so why do we eat these dozen vitamins? All right, so I've got a couple answers because people think that they're getting their nutrients from them, okay? Beverly says, oh, hi, Beverly. Thanks for joining us tonight. They eat vitamins for their health, thinking it will keep them healthy. Awesome. Anne says, oh, you saw the flyer. Cool. She says that they take vitamins to supplement for the foods and nutrients that they're missing. Very good. Okay. So the most common answer that I get is, I eat vitamins because I know I'm not getting the nutrients that I should be getting from food. Show of hands, how many people have thought that before or have heard that before? I eat vitamins because I know I'm not getting the nutrients from what I should be getting from food. Exactly. Okay, cool. So we're on the same page. We know that vitamins are healthy for us. It's just this source of where do we get these? And it's not just limited to those 13 or 12 or 13 vitamins. And when you put the minerals in there too, right? It's about 20 different vitamins and minerals that you would find in a typical multivitamin. Okay, so here's my next question. If you are an architect, okay, if you're an architect and you've designed this beautiful building. It's a skyscraper, in fact. It's going to be state of the art, and this is a state of the art, top of technology skyscraper that is going to require 100,000 different building blocks. All right, we're looking at drywall. We are looking at steel beams and windows and all the different types of glass for that. You have concrete, and you have, not to mention just the outside structure, but all the stuff on the inside, right? You're looking at all the desks that need to be installed in there, the light bulbs, and the ceiling tiles and all those. All right. What if I were to tell you, hey, I will build your skyscraper, but in order to save a lot of money, then instead of using 100,000 different building blocks, you are only going to be able to choose 20, not 100,000. You only get to choose 20 of these building blocks to build your skyscraper. Okay. As the architect, you tell that builder, get out of here. There's no way that you can't build a state-of-the-art, top of technology skyscraper with just 20 types of building materials. What am I going to build my steel beams out of? Like nails? And I got to build my windows out of nails, and I got to build the elevator out of nails. And so we have been duped. We have been tricked into thinking that we can build this skyscraper, the human body, instead of out of 100,000 different nutrients. We call those phytonutrients. So those come from plants that God put on this planet for us to build, for our cells to thrive on. And we have been told, we have, by our culture, and it's not your fault. Like, I'm not pointing fingers at anyone on this Zoom or anyone watching this recording. It's because we have been taught by the previous generations. This is a cultural shift that gets to be taken place. And there are some people that are awakening to this fact that we can't just build our skyscrapers, our bodies, out of 20 different vitamins and minerals. We have to go back to the basics and get our nutrients from food. Okay. And so we have some solutions for you. The key is not to eat vitamins. The key is to get those nutrients from food. Okay. So here's the next question here then. Okay. So audience participation in the chat here. The next question is, if we know that eating healthy should be a priority, then what are the reasons why people don't eat healthily? Again, the question is, what are the reasons why people don't eat healthily? So take a second, go ahead and write that in the chat. And I'll give you a few that I've heard here. I have a list of about 30 different reasons why people don't eat healthy. I ask this all the time. All right, so we have some of these that come in for me here. It costs too much. It's too expensive. Absolutely, yeah. It's too expensive. That's one of the number one reasons why people say, I don't eat healthy, because it's too expensive. All right.
Someone said it requires work.
Requires work. Yeah, thanks, Kathy. Requires work. It's too complicated. I have weak discipline. Thank you for admitting that. I do too. You're not alone. You got to go to the store all the time. Yeah, going to the grocery store all the time because your produce rots, right? Before you start using it all. It tastes bland. All right.
The other thing, when I said earlier, Henry, when someone said, well, because, if I eat healthy and I see this person over here eating healthy and they still die, so I might as well eat whatever I want to eat.
Right. It's like, I give up, right? It's too hard. And I want to enjoy life. I've deserved to live, right? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and read you off some of the common answers here. Okay. You guys got like the top 5. Too expensive. It's too complicated. It's too confusing, right? It's not convenient. It doesn't fit my lifestyle. I don't know where to start. I'm comfortable where I am, right? Or are we really comfortable with being elated with chronic disease, right? It tastes like cardboard. It's too bland. How much nutrients are really in food anyway, right? Why do I even bother? Because it travels for so long from California or on a boat overseas. And so how much of nutrients has been depleted already? Why even bother, right? The vegetables, they rot in my fridge before I use them. There's too much waste. These recipes are too complicated. I've tried it before and it doesn't work. I already eat lots of apples, oranges, and bananas, right? I've got too many spices in my cabinet already. I don't know half of the vegetables and fruits that are in the produce section. I'm not familiar with them, right? Unfamiliarity stops a lot of people because we are creatures of habit. I've tried diets before and they don't work. I just balloon back up afterwards. And we'll talk about diets here in a second too. It takes too much time to shop at the grocery store so often. Sharon, you mentioned that as well. There's too many chemicals that are used on the food these days. There's too much sugar. I'm pre-diabetic or diabetic. Okay. There's not enough room in my fridge, or there's not enough room in my physical belly. Right. I have food sensitivities. So when I eat it, then it makes me all go into anaphylactic shock. Right. So I can't eat. I have a friend who eats broccoli, it doesn't eat broccoli because she's allergic to broccoli, but we figured out how to bypass the mucous membranes and allow her to benefit from the nutrients of broccoli without having the allergic reaction. How cool is that? And we'll share that secret with you here in a little bit. My kids and my spouse, they don't eat healthy either. So why am I going to bother trying to do it, right? They're all picky eaters. I come from a family of picky eaters, or I don't like the texture. Okay, and that's some of the most common answers that I get with from that question of why don't we eat healthy? Those are the barriers. Okay, and so I want to share my screen with you because I prepared some slides, and I want to make sure that I don't miss anything that is important that I wanted to share with you today. So here we go. All right. So, all right, give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Quick thumbs up. Awesome. All right, cool. All right, so what does good health mean to you? This is what health means to me. This means that you're happy. Means that I'm happy and healthy and joyful. I'm in community. I am not doing alone. I am, it's easy, it's convenient. It is like in all those reasons to not eat healthy that you saw before, we're going to debunk all of those, every single one of them today. All right. And so this is, again, this is my version of what healthy looks like. You can see at the bottom right here, this is me, a bunch of my friends, and some of my team members. We do healthy eating parties all the time. In fact, every Monday we get together and throw in salads into jars, and we all go home with a couple different salads that all are tasty. They were pretty inexpensive to make. It was super fun. It was fast. It only took a half an hour or less. And we all have meals for the rest of the week. You can see on the left here, healthy means to me is getting out there and being in community. This is actually some of my friends in Hawaii, and eating healthy to me means not just keeping it to myself. It is going out there and sharing it with others. And being joyful with that. You can see my nephew, James, and my niece, Samantha. This is healthy to me means that you are sharing this with the next generation, that you are demonstrating what it means to eat healthy. And I love this partnership that we have at the Heart Attack and Stroke Prevention Center, a partnership of medicine and dentistry and nutrition. So it's not just isolated fields. It's not just, hey, I'm going to take care of my heart health and go ahead and let my belly fat go to waste, or my sleep and my cancer, right? It's every single body system works together. So it's not about quick fixes with medicine. It is making sure that you're getting to the root cause and helping every single body system that you have, that God gave you. Okay. And so this is one of my favorite slides as well, because it shows us one of those reasons why we don't eat healthy, right? Is because the food quality is decreasing. It travels so far that the nutrients are depleted. In fact, here in Ohio, 70% of our produce is actually shipped from other countries. It's imported from foreign countries. How much nutrients really is left in that pepper by the time it gets transported all those distances? It gets redistributed into other states, sits on the shelf, sits on my shelf, and then it takes time to prepare it, right? All the preservatives, all the different confusing things out there that says, oh, this is organic, right? Or this is natural. Okay? I saw a sign, I saw a label the other day on this product. I won't name it, so because I don't want to I don't want to discredit or bash any particular companies out there, but it said on there that it was natural strawberry flavored. Okay, and so they see this word, we see this word natural, and we think, oh, natural is good, right? But there's no regulations on using that word natural. It's natural strawberry, but it was flavored with something that was artificial. So it tastes like natural strawberry, but it's not actually natural, right? And it said that in fine print on the back here, right? So this is one of the problems that we're facing, okay? And get this, it's a lot of these multivitamins. This is so alarming. This is one of the things that I discovered about 2 years ago when someone in our Juice Plus company, I think it was maybe Dr. Candace Corson or someone really high up there, one of our doctors who explained that if you look at the side of your medicine, if you look at the side of even your multivitamin, okay, you're going to see a label, and it usually says drug facts or it says supplement facts. And next to that, it's also going to give you a warning. And that warning oftentimes tells you if you have heart problems, or if you are pregnant, or if you have high blood pressure or pre-existing diseases, right? Then how many of you have seen this before? Yeah. Okay. So then it says, then consult your physician before consuming. Sometimes they say, do not take over the recommended daily dosage. If you do, then call poison control. There's all these multivitamins out there. Your multivitamin might even say this. Check it out after you finish listening to this, or push this on pause and go check it out. Call poison control, right? If you eat too much of this or take too much of it, should be a red flag, folks, right? Or do not consume if you are under the age of 12 or if you're pregnant or something, right? And so if it's not healthy for kids, then why am I putting it in my body? If it's not healthy for someone who is pregnant, why? I have no business putting it in my body, right? And so it's not about eating vitamins. In fact, on vitamins here, you'll see vitamin A, okay? So vitamin A, often, this one's a bad example. This is 70%, but a lot of vitamin A, multivitamins say it contains 400% of your vitamin A, 400% of your recommended daily allowance. That should be a red flag too, right? Because what that says is, I'm going to give you 4 times what is recommended to your body. Folks, you can overdose on vitamin A, and you can see, if you can see my cursor here, right? You can overdose on vitamin A on the left. However, if you look on the right, this vitamin A comes from apples, from mangoes, from peaches, pineapples, dates, cherries. That vitamin A is in the form of a natural vitamin A we call beta carotene. Okay, and so beta carotene, the beauty of that is that you cannot overdose on vitamin A. How cool is that, right? Now, you might be wondering, wait a minute, say that again. Okay, I want to say that one more time. Watch my cursor, it's on the left here. You can overdose on vitamin A, but you cannot overdose on vitamin A. There's a stark difference between the two, okay? That when we look at vitamin A, or we look at vitamin K or vitamin C that was made in a pharmacy, it doesn't have to be exactly the same as it is found in the natural world, in the natural foods. But because it's so close, then they can say, this is vitamin A. It's a vitamin A complex. But the truth is that it's not the actual type of, not the actual chemical that God put on this planet inside of food that your body recognizes. And therefore, we can't expect this man-made mimicry of, again, one of the 12 vitamins to do the same and act the same and function the same as what is actually found in food. Okay. On this next slide, I want to show you the differences between the synergy of all of the nutrients that you can find in food versus the isolated vitamins and minerals that you find in a multivitamin. So on the left here, this is a typical supplement label or drug label on a multivitamin. Again, pause this, go back to your medicine cabinet, take a look at your multivitamin and count. There are about 20 different vitamins and minerals. However, if you were to take an apple apart, okay, then you would find 10,000 phytonutrients, including those that you found in the multivitamin, right? But it doesn't have 400% vitamin A. It doesn't have, 1,200% vitamin C, and it doesn't need it. This is why, because those 10,000 nutrients that you can find in an apple, even if it's a smaller percentage of vitamin A, because it is mixed with all the other nutrients in the form of food, then your body will actually recognize it and use it as it was designed. And you might be wondering here too, for those of you who are analyzers, on the right-hand side, this is not 10,000. It has 10,000 nutrients, but we couldn't fit them on this page. So this is only about 300 of those 10,000. So how you can't even classify, multivitamins as food. On this next page here, I love this Time magazine article, why food could be the best medicine of all, right? What if instead of injecting, these different types of chemicals into an IV or carrying it in, as you can see that bag on the right, or a prescription, right, of all these different pills, all these different drugs. If we said, well, you know what, if you're feeling sick, then why don't you go ahead and eat more fruits and vegetables, right? I just finished watching another webinar by a good friend, Dr. Bill Sears. And he's been a pediatrician for over 50 years. And he recommends the best medicine, right, is fruits and vegetables in their natural, raw, vine ripened form. And so this is the key of reducing all chronic disease. This is the key to reversing or at least hindering aging. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out, right? You can simply do this with an apple or an avocado, right? If you cut it in half over the course of the next few minutes, it'll start browning. That is called oxidation. It starts aging it starts the aging process for those cells that are exposed to that stress. But if you were to take antioxidants, right? Antioxidants fight they fight the oxidants that are causing aging. And so it's pretty simple, right? Just squeeze lemons or squeeze antioxidants, not just one type, but 100,000 different types on your skin. Well, that only gets the top part of your skin, right? And so the key is to put it on the inside of your body as well. Because what's really happening on the inside of the body is this. We've got all sorts of inflammation going on in your arteries. We've got all sorts of things that are causing sleep apnea, that are related to infectious diseases, our gut health, right? And so if we want to reduce the inflammation, then the key is to make sure that we are flooding our blood, saturating it with tons of phytonutrients on a daily basis. But it's not just food, right? We are what we eat, right? You've probably heard that phrase before. You've probably even said it yourself. I used to teach that in my classroom all the time. You are what you eat, right? If you've heard that phrase or even used that before, then you're on the right track. However, none of us really take it to the extreme of it's actually true. Because if you think about it, right, what you put in your body becomes you. It literally becomes, the matter becomes part of your skin. If you touch your skin, so everyone go ahead and take your hand, put it up to the screen here. I want you to pinch it. Okay, you're pinching your skin on your hand. Now, what you're feeling right now is literally what you ate 28 days ago. Because what you put in your mouth became part of your skin cells underneath, and the new skin cells flake off and replace themselves in about 28 days. So if you ate, you can literally look at your calendar and backtrack 28 days ago. If you ate Burger King, you are feeling burgers and fries right now. Literally, the matter that you put in your mouth. And so the key is to taste the rainbow, right? I want to build my cells out of mangoes and grapes and bananas and oranges and kale and garlic, right? And so that is the nutrients. This is a good diet down here. But there's 6 best doctors. This is something that our Juice Plus company it's a slide. It's very common. It's getting fresh air, right? That oxygen to burn the fuel in our body at a right ratio, getting in plenty of movement, your exercise, okay? Making sure that you're moving all those nutrients around your body, not just, in your stomach. hydrating yourself, drinking plenty of water, half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, then you're drinking 100 ounces of water daily. Getting plenty of rest. When does your body grow most? When does it repair most? It's when you sleep. We mentioned about the diet. You are what you eat. And the sixth one here is something that is often missed. That's sunshine, right? We think, oh, well, that sounds kind of woo-woo. But if you get sunshine, then that UVBs and UV rays from the sun convert the superficial cholesterol in your skin into vitamin D. And vitamin D boosts your immune system. It helps with your regulating your hormone cycles. It's great for helps you absorb calcium. So you have strong muscles and bones and repair those muscles as well. So sunshine is one of the top 6. Okay. On this next slide here, it's same thing, the best doctors, but on the left, I love this phrase here, this quote. Every time you eat or drink, you are either 1, feeding disease, or you're fighting it. I'll say that again. Every time you eat or drink, you are either feeding disease or fighting it. So important. And again, it's all about taking all of those phytonutrients, flooding your cells so the antioxidants gets rid of the oxidative stress from the inside out. And so here's the secret that I told you we were going to share with you today. Okay, I call it the nutrition reinvented. That's a phrase that I got from our good friend Jeff Olson. He's an Olympic skier and medalist, and he calls this the reinvention of food, right? For all those reasons that we mentioned before, right? It doesn't fit in my stomach, or I'm diabetic because it has, eating healthy means fruits and vegetables have a lot of sugar, or I'm too busy in my life to go to the grocery store all the time. But I know that I should be eating my nutrients from food, right? So let's reinvent the way that we get those nutrients into our blood by taking all those foods, dehydrating them, so we get rid of the water, and then we crystallize the sugar off of it, so there's no sugar in it, and everything that's left in that capsule is the peach, is the lemon, is the entire orange, again, minus the water, so it fits in your stomach, and minus the sugar. So it's great for cancer patients. It's great for pre-diabetics or diabetics, right? And so if we take all of those and throw them into a capsule form, this is Jetson stuff, right? How many of you remember the Jetsons? The Jetsons? All right, cool. So the Jetsons was a cartoon that was actually before my time, but I've seen it. And what they did is George Jetson goes up and he pushes this little button, and a capsule comes down out of the vending machine, and it's food. Folks, this was science fiction back in the 70s. And guess what? It's no longer science fiction. We figured out how to do it. We reinvented the way that we can get food into our blood. And so the company that we partner with is called Juice Plus. Juice Plus is often a misnomer because people think, oh, I drink juice all the time. But it's nothing close to juice. It's the next best thing, right? It's even better than juicing, because juicing, you get all the sugar with it, right? This is all vine ripened fruits and vegetables, raw, not cooked, right? That are powdered and encapsulated. So you can eat it whenever, with whatever, or by itself. You don't even have to eat it with food, because it is food. And so we say, we eat our Juice Plus in the morning. I wake up in the morning and I eat my Juice Plus religiously, because I know, not because it tastes great, right? Because I know that if I flood my blood with what God put on this planet, then my cells are going to start activating. The DNA starts repairing. My vision starts getting better. My brain starts operating like it was supposed to. Faster cognition. These are 3 things that the recent studies show in the university in Spain is you have faster processing speeds. You have better working memory, and you have a longer attention span. And people are questioning, well, how does that work, right? Well, it's pretty simple. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out, right? You flood the blood with what God put on this planet, for you to actually thrive on. And then your cells turn on and they actually function the way that they're supposed to. And you saw the one on the left here, we didn't do this one yet, but this is called omegas. And I know, Lynette, you were going to refer to this here in a little bit. And I know you were going to show a video. I'm covering some of this stuff here. And if you want to pause this slide and you can take a look, these are the 6 the sources of omegas. We don't use any kind of fish. It's all from plants and algae, because we skip the fish and we go straight to where the fish get their oils. And so you don't have any fish burps or anything like that. And it's actually healthier for you because it doesn't cause the inflammation that any kind of animal products do. And so this is our lineup here. You got fruits, veggies, berry, capsules. You have a complete, this is actually a powder that you can mix into like a nut milk, almond milk, or coconut milk or something. And it provides the macronutrients as well. But you can see all of these different types of plants that have been dehydrated, taken out the sugar, and you get literally over 30 fruits and vegetables in your diet every single day. 3 things that separate this, and I'm gonna turn it back over to you, Lynette, is you might be thinking, I've heard of all sorts of stuff out there that is that they claim it's healthy. These are the 3 things that separate Juice Plus above all the rest. Okay, first, it is food. It is something called bioavailable. You can write that word down, bioavailable. Bioavailability means that it is absorbed into the body, right? And so if you see something out there that is confusing, that's new, that is flashy, check to see if you can actually absorb it. Because if you can't absorb it, then it goes right through your body and you poop it out. You're paying for expensive poop. Okay. And if you do absorb it into the bloodstream, but your cells don't actually recognize it and they don't absorb it, then your body filters it out, your bladder, and you end up, your kidneys and your bladder, and you end up peeing out expensive vitamins, right? And so make sure it's bioavailable. That's the first one here. It's food. It's not a medicine. Okay. Second here, it is safe. It is NSF certified, right? We hear this word organic all the time. This is even better than organic. This means that there is a third party that comes in 6 times, sometimes even more, unannounced to the farms. They test the soil, they test the process, they test the foods, and they test the capsules themselves to make sure that what is on the label is actually in the product. It is safe for these 3. Write these down. It is safe for cancer patients. It is safe for pregnant women, and it is safe for babies. Again, I mentioned that at the very beginning. If it's not safe for cancer patients, then why am I putting it in my body until I get cancer? And then my oncologist says, oh, don't take that because you have cancer now, right? If it's safe for all 3 of those, then I can stand behind it. And here's the third checkbox. Does it have clinical research to actually back up what people say it does? Because there's all sorts of stuff out there that is confusing and claim that it'll give you better energy, it'll sleep better, or it'll grow you wings, right? Well, they put a little asterisk next to it. And the asterisk says, these claims have not been tested or approved by FDA, et cetera, right? So clinical research, what do we mean by that? Clinical research is double-blind, placebo-tested, done by medical universities, not by some person in their basement. Not just done by one person. It's peer reviewed and put and published into medical journals. You can't pay your way to get into medical journals, right? And so this is a little outdated. We have over 42 published clinical studies now, not just 35. And that has been longevity over 20 years of research. And this product has actually been out since 93. And so we're looking at going on 27 years now. Okay, so it has longevity. Again, it is farm fresh. It is food. It has been tested by leading universities all over the world and published, peer reviewed into medical journals. Okay. So I just wanted to share that with you today. Hopefully you learned something. I'm going to stop my screen share here. Yeah, Lynette, thanks for having me today. Oh, you're on mute.
All right, thanks a lot, Henry. Wow, that was amazing. A lot of great information. He says flood your body with phytonutrients, get fresh air, sunshine, get that vitamin D, rest. Most of us are not getting enough rest. That affects our health. We need to move. You need to drink water. Healthy means you are happy, because nobody is too happy when they're not healthy. Key, we're not trying to eat vitamins. We're trying to eat food. Read your labels. And if you don't know what it says, Google it. Google tells us everything, but it's important to read your labels and watch the sugar. When it says 10% sugar, then down below it says, oh, and all is about 60%, because there's other words that mean sugar, you know, and that's what our body doesn't need, that sugar. And you put all these, this food together, it becomes synergy. And that's why we can, that broccoli that you were allergic to, now you put it with other foods, you mix it all together, then you have that synergy. Okay. But I'm not going to show a video because I think Henry's covered most of that, but I would like, if everyone wants to stick on, one of my partners to share her story. Nancy is going to, I want her to share her story, and then we can close out. So Nancy, can you unmute?
Yes. Thanks, Lynette. I'm Nancy. I'm from the state of Minnesota, and I'm a sales coordinator with Juice Plus. Approximately 11 years ago, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. There was something I was missing, and I did not know what it was. So I was searching. And one night I was on Facebook, and a friend posted about what a great JP meeting they had. And I bit, and I said, what is it? So she shared with me, and I went to her website, and I did the research on the product, and I was enthused with the science behind it. It wasn't just a natural vitamin you take off the shelf and it's going to do all this stuff. It was good, you know. So I started the product, and I was on it about 4 months, and I thought, wow. I got off ulcer medication. I actually dropped about 30 plus pounds. I started eating better, and I couldn't get enough good food in me. And I thought, well, if this is helping me, why shouldn't I share it with other people? So I became a distributor, and started sharing it with my family and friends. Moving fast forward up until about 2.5 years ago, I had started losing weight, and I had lost another 30 pounds. And I thought it was just from working, going back to work and working, lifting, you know, physical work. But I found out that when I went into the doctor, I had cancer. They had found a tumor in my intestines. And so 3 weeks before surgery, I thought, okay, now you've been educated for 11 years. Use that education to help your health. So what I did is I got my juicer out, and I started juicing the celery, the carrots, the beets. So I juiced for 3 weeks. Plus I did Juice Plus 4 doses per day. I did not feed my body anything that would feed that cancer. I was trying to smother it. So I went in for surgery, got out of surgery at 5:30 in the afternoon. By midnight, I was up walking the hallways at the hospital. I think it was by 7 o'clock, I had eaten 2 meals. By 11 o'clock, I had my lunch. I was dressed. I was in the waiting room down on the first floor waiting for my ride home. 2 weeks later, I was back at work. I guess the main thing that I took away from this cancer was the fact that my recovery was just absolutely wonderful. If I wouldn't have fed my body the nutrients that it needed, I don't believe I would have had that good recovery. And now today I'm just about 2.5 years cancer-free. I'm still doing my Juice Plus, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Thank you, Nancy. I've heard her story before, but it's always so moving each time I hear it again, because we just have to, I have the passion that food is medicine, and it could be the good medicine, or somebody said earlier, we were talking about it, or it can be bad medicine. You got to choose which way you want to go. But we know, and we don't make any health claims with Juice Plus, but we do make claims about what it's done for us. And I can say, you know, truthfully, that when we're eating these good nutrients, it does preserve the body. So I like to end with the scripture, and then we can, if anybody has any questions, but it is, so whatever we do, whatever we eat, or whatever we drink, do it to the glory of God. We keep in line with him, everything else should fall in place. I want to thank everybody for joining us this afternoon. Thank you, Henry, again, for a wonderful presentation. Those that are on here that support us each time, there's a few of you on here, I thank you. I just like to, it makes my heart, it warms my heart that people are willing to want to do something different for themselves, for their bodies as we age, because we're in our prime time, y'all. Not Henry, you know, he's talking about the Jetsons that he didn't grow up with, but we did. Some of us on here, we know all about the Jetsons, but Henry got the second part of it, but he got it, you know, because now we're in the Jetsons, we're doing that stuff that we used to watch, right? But as we, you know, in our prime time, this has got to be the best time of our lives, y'all, you know, the best time of our lives, you know, along with the grandkids. You know, we want to be able to run behind them and, you know, do what we do. And I'm telling you, as grandparents, it's a different set of grandparents from when my mother was coming up, you know. So thank you all again. If you have any questions, you can go ahead. We can end the recording now, but if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them now, or any comments.